Start up. We're live. Get into it. It's fun to go through and see the progression of all this stuff. At some point, I will have a something created, something akin to a flashy intro. I should practice this now because we do it live, right? So I'll say something. I'll turn to camera and be like, "Hi, I'm Max Forward, and you're probably not familiar with me, but you've seen my work. And I've been an entertainment artist for 20 years, and I've worked on video game commercials, advertising, and short-form entertainment. And here we Skillshare the behind-the-scenes reality of being an entertainment artist for fun and profit. So come join Max." That'll be something like that. That'll be the thing, but one day. All right. In the meantime, we do some actual work. Now that's interesting. That's not the latest Zelda. Let's see here. Here it is. Need to get my stuff organized. So see difference from that one to that one. Okay, so. There we go. Now these bits of shading are just layers I forgot to turn off. So let's go in and turn those off. That's a little bit better. So this will be a quick stream. I'm not going to do this all morning. I'll have to get my kids to school. Never a dull moment around here. Let's get some of that firelight in Link's eyes. Maybe even in his mouth, right? Corners of his mouth. Where else? Oh yeah, this guy's sword. And I'm comfortable just stealing a little bit from this sword. Stealing that color that we already decided on. There's gonna be some of that firelight reflecting off the edge of the sword. And maybe that's it. Maybe that can just be it. Looks like we have a little bit of margin of error right here. Just fix that now. I was doing a little math in my head, and I was thinking, you know, just this morning, making all the considerations, wondering, okay, well, I only have about an hour available that I know of today for this stream. Isn't an hour long enough to get much done? And conventionally, it's not a lot of time. An hour in storyboarding can, if you do it right, can net you like 5 drawings, 4 more. Like you can get a lot done in storyboarding in an hour. That's for sure. On this, you might just make small little changes, but cumulatively, it adds up. Oops. I think it's the cumulative effort, building on it. Because look, all these different versions were just one stream at a time. And before you know it, you're done. You know? Little bits of progress here and there. That's all it takes. It's almost painless. One that could approach the real world this way. Real world is so much harder sometimes. And that's a cool effect I remember doing, and we might come back to that, but not on this stream, I don't think. That's the cool thing we want to get to, but first we have to eat a little bit of spinach, and by that I mean maybe we tackle an area that is not as crazy sexy. I'm thinking this shield here is going to catch more of that firelight than I have. Let's save our work. Every little bit helps. And anybody might be wondering, noticing that the cats are gone. The cats are not missing. I have, in deference to my lovely wife, we came to the understanding that there's enough space in here for 2 of us to have projects. And so what'll happen is there'll be a space for her over here, and maybe a space for my kid to have a little homework station over there. That'll make it easier to make sure she actually does her homework during the day. The ever important homework. And into this, we get our firelight. Brighter overall. Mostly yellow, and then a little bit of red. It's interesting. I do want to avoid, because the shadow of the arm bones for the Stalfos are going to be a thing. Take this down a bit. But the fire isn't going to cast hard shadows. So they're going to be soft. That might be the extent of it right there. And then again, here at the edge, the form turns away. It is going to catch some of that. Probably here at the brightest. Take it down. Something like that feels good. Or at least addresses it. Okay. Brighter overall. A lot of yellow. And then it's gonna, let's see here. The green color would resist a little bit of red, so maybe that's as far as we take it. Probably not getting a ton of that light here, but at least some. Here, the statue's sort of turning away from that fire. It's really not going to get tagged with much. And of course the skeleton is screening the rest of it, even if we're cheating some of this. And I don't mind a good cheat. So that's probably as far as it'll go. Something like that. Like it's not going to hit this tentacle way over there. I want to resist the urge to make things brighter just to see them. I don't think that's quite the, it's not quite the solution. Reclaim some of what I put in there. Can't force this stuff through. Something like that. You know, if it needs more down the road, we decide it does. Maybe we imply another fire off to the side or in the background. And indicate that via the light. Okay. I think we can also, well, let me get that color back. Brighter overall. A lot more yellow. I think there would be a gradient of light going across the base, like this pedestal thing. Basically does it. Okay. All right, now we're to the background. So funny because there's, how did black get into there? That's kind of silly. Yeah, I can't explain that. Yeah, I don't think, what's happening here? Okay, that's better. Okay. Sorry, there's some dark line artifacts in the fire, which is not something I wanted. So painting that out a bit. Okay, well, here we have the water as a separate thing. You know, I could get to these other little bats, too. They're going to catch a little firelight. Brighter overall. Yellow. A little bit of red. Here on the tippy toes and the edges of the wings. We'll at least have something, right? Last but not least, this guy way over here. Now, it's far away enough from the fire where you'd be like, okay, is it really catching that much light? But I just want to indicate it for now. Okay. Feels like we've more or less got all those major characters covered for sure, so let's go. And look, we even have waterfall that we can light. And water's pretty darn reflective, right? So we see something cool like, I don't know, I'm not a water expert. But I can imagine water doing interesting things within that space. Fun ripples. Bouncing off one wall, reflecting back into it. Fun interference pattern or something. Okay. Let's get some of that fire. reflecting into the background space. Brighter overall. A lot of yellow, a little red. This coloring might need to go on top of the background lines. It's not how I... Because the background has this sort of painted look. I might not be able to fight it much. It's a battle I'll lose, so... Architecture in Zelda always seems to have these fun combinations of, well, of the era that I grew up in, Zelda was very much just combinations of primitives. Columns and cubes and circles and triangles, pyramids and everything else. Okay. Guess we can go another half hour. Yeah, I don't know if that would actually look like that. Because I think I see these pillars as closer to camera. than this fire. So that light would be a little blocked. It's okay to recalculate. Getting up here, it's going to be diminished effect from that fire. As cool as it would be to go in there and paint in every little glint of light, I don't know if that is the goal for this. Ooh, two bots in the same thing. I must be doing real bad. It's okay if the chat is quiet, but it does not mean we welcome the bots. That's too regular. Something that feels like a pattern is not going to help. Maybe a little bit of small details to entice a little understanding. Here it can, as it curves back around, it can maybe catch some more. I'll admit to did not really think through too much what I want to be in this background, except I don't want it to be the subject of much focus. So there's some discovery here for me. That's okay. No matter what, today's sort of set up for a lot of cool potential. My clients have booked me today, but they actually gave me a heads up. They're like, this may be a quiet day. There's a lot of internal regroup happening. They may not have a lot for me to do, and if so, great. Squeeze another stream in after I get my kids to school. A lot of discovery. That's okay. Okay, yeah, what's going on with this area down here? I guess I just didn't paint the water going in. Gotta make sure I've got the right color though. quote unquote right color. I just don't see the firelight getting anywhere, like over here into these backgrounds. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Let's see here. Got about 15 more minutes, so let me think here. Let's give it a big think. No, it's no big deal. Let's clarify the because I guess we could move on to like the laser beam. But let's clarify the fire a little bit more. And then maybe we'll round out, if there's any time left, a little bit of, I don't know, small details that are related to the fire. And that seems good enough. One thing I see that I'm going to fix. I think I got a little... that's not necessarily bad. Maybe I can just erase that line out. Yeah. Alright, that's cool. Racing out some of these background lines. Will I ever get good at drawing fire? puzzle. Definitely tried to do some studies of fire for projects in the past. Hi Liam, how are you? I was about to chat a little bit about my... I'm only going to go another like 10-15 minutes at most. But I was about to say, it's, you know, fire is tricky, and I know I think it's making some progress. The cool thing will come in when I do the laser beam. I think I have a rough, yeah, this is like rough indication of like how that might, of course that's like a super quick indication of what it might look like with some of that light effect on top. And then once I add in like a bunch of like smoke and, you know, whatever special effects and glints and highlights, I think it'll look pretty cool. And then I'm not sure there's much else to do beyond that. So I think it's making some progress. I'm struggling just right now with a little bit of the fire thing, and I'm okay with that. I don't need to... Yeah, just making a little progress. Thanks for joining me for a minute. But I don't know if you've ever like said like, okay, here's a good fire reference. Now I'll pick the colors. I'll just like do color picking, and I remember being kind of shocked at, you know, some of the really... doing this a little probably the wrong way, but I don't know the right way to draw fire. I just wanted it to look a little bit better than it did, but you know, if I make it too bright, that won't look right, and if I make it too dark, that won't look right. It's like I want more. Like I was surprised how much like pink was in the flame and how desaturated the colors were. But of course, I want a little bit of that Zelda aesthetic. Feels like don't want it to be overdone, you know? Like, ooh, bright is good, so make it really bright, you know? 'cause previously my fire was on a, by the way, the background is different, because I rotated my whole desk. It's a long story, but it's, good things overall. I'm not moving, you know, it's not a major interruption to the stream, but I did, over the weekend, rotate from my desk from here to here. That's all that happened, but it took hours and hours because there's so many cables. And, you know, if I don't do it right, I'll pay the price. Eventually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my camera here. It's going to be get the, you can get my bad side, but it'll work out better, I think, overall. And then I can bring the cats back. They'll be on this wall. I think half the reason anybody checks out the stream is because they're like, are those cats? I want to see cats. I mean, if I really wanted the stream to be popping off, I would just draw portraits of people's cats all day, right? Oh, that's a good idea. I should do, like, have like a thing. It could be like Catterday or something like that, right? Saturday Catterday. Try to draw someone's cat. It's been interesting. You know, because I've posted a few things on like the Zelda forum on Reddit, and I was curious. I was like, okay, well, these aren't, you know, I even got like a downvote on the last one, and I was like, what? But I was realizing also, it's like, you know, I didn't exactly. Now, I believe, I shouldn't say believe, I have calculated without much math, of course, but I have a hunch that as things progress closer and closer to the movie actually coming out, and people get more and more used to a more grounded in reality Zelda aesthetic, that it could be that it might whet their appetites for more content that resembles that. But right now, it might be like people are like, "What is this? Is this where?" It's not always true that people will welcome the what I don't want it to be is that people perceive me as saying, stand aside, amateurs, the professionals are here, you know. So I have to think a bit of that a little bit. You know, if they sort of see their space as a place for that doesn't necessarily mean what I have to bring is welcome there, and I don't want to force anything like that. That's certainly not what I want to do. But on the other hand, I'm a Zelda fan. I'm allowed to hear my art. And I don't really know what I'm doing, so. So it's okay. I haven't been bullied out. I wouldn't really care if they did. That's fine. Zelda is but step one. Step one of my master plan. fiddle around with some of these other colors. Okay, that's about as saturated as I would want it to get. Just messing around with the layers. Maybe that's too much even. Because the more saturated the fire looks, the more saturated everything else has to become. Would be my guess. Man, I can barely tell the difference. Okay. Alright. Right now, that's not bugging me too much. Damn, I got a lot of bots today. I had to bring the band hammer a few times. Alright, we're approaching the hour mark. That's what I've had budgeted so far this morning. Just 1 hour a day is all it takes to make a masterpiece. If we can call it a masterpiece. I know it eventually though. Liam, this is the litmus test though. Is the other day, my wife, who has absolutely no interest in like, well, it's not that she has no interest in like me or what I'm doing, but she is sort of like takes it as for granted that what I might be doing isn't to her interests, especially if it has anything to do with video games. So she's like, okay, she has a concept in her head of what Zelda is. She has no idea what like fan art and that kind of thing, what appeal that might have to a broad. Have you done flip horizontal? Yes, thank you. I did do that already on this, and I really like the I still like it, so we'll flip it over right now. And having done that, I know I still like this. It's got a lot of fun dynamism. A lot of room for all these fun things. Like even right now, I'm not freaking out looking at it. But thank you for reminding me to do that. So let's flip it back. Okay, and let's save. Yeah, it's very fun and dynamic, and this in particular is the kind of thing that, like, listen, AI can do a lot of cool stuff. You know, hate to give it any wins, but like it does do a lot of cool stuff. But what it doesn't do is this kind of thing where it's just, for whatever reason, this sort of dynamism, there's not enough data in its collective intelligence yet to calculate this sort of stuff. And so by demonstrating it, I can be like, okay, humans are still very useful in this way. Like, obviously, if it was just a pose with Link standing with a shield and sword and looking cool, like, AI can do that. But like this sort of thing, it can't, as far as I can tell, it can't do this type of thing right now. All right, I'm going to make a thumbnail in a second, but okay. So I'll get back to the other story that I was telling. My wife came because she was like, I was rearranging my office. My wife comes in, and she says, she sees the you know, our land mola sketch, and she's like, "Did you draw that?" And I was like, you know, because I could tell she was a little impressed by it. And she knows I don't put other people's art on as my wallpaper, so she was like, she was a little hesitant to give the compliment to me. She just wanted to know if I had drawn it first, and I was like, "Do you think I did?" And she was like, and I was like, "Because I did." And she's like, "It looks really good." And I was like, good, because my wife does not hand out false compliments about my art. So if she has anything wrong to say about something, she absolutely will be like, yeah, this is weird, or whatever. Like, that doesn't look good, or I don't like it. Like, it doesn't matter if I pour my heart into something. She will definitely let me know the truth, which I appreciate about her. But sometimes it can be frustrating, because sometimes I just want to be loved, but she does not give the unconditional love to my art. That is subject to approval. So knowing that, and she even liked the moblin. She was like, "That looks really good too." So she finally poked her head in and saw what some of the output of what we've been doing, and has now sort of come around to like, this doesn't look like he's all for nothing. All this stuff has nothing to show for it. So that's kind of cool. All right, do a quick thumbnail and then I'll call it a stream. So it's one thing to get compliments from random internet strangers, but like if Liam, you're being such a talented artist, like it's very much appreciated when you have nice things to say. And then but like my wife is like a super hard fought client to win over sort of thing. She doesn't just give me a pass because she loves me. So all right. Now, the lighting in here is so crappy right now, so this will just be a shitty thumbnail, unless maybe I can blur out this. That's okay. We take it as it is. Can I make that happen? Yeah, that's a little bit better. And maybe I can do one of those Drake things, where it's like, what does he do? And then he goes. That's pretty good. That's my favorite part. Okay. Alright, that'll have to be the end of it. And Liam, thanks for joining. If anybody else is lurking, thanks for checking it out. Do more cool stuff. Possibly later today. My client has booked me today. Bless them for their patronage. But they also let me know that their notes are in a state of flux, and there may not be a heavy day today. There may be chance for more stream. We'll see, but we got this much in, and it feels good. All right. Catch you later.